Ahoy hoy, it's your boy Attack Slug, back again with a You Should Be Playing. And if you're noticing the background, it's because I am once again capturing an old game, and my TV in my room has problems with old games. So today, we're looking at RalliSport Challenge 2 for the original Xbox. 2004 release, drop the controller, that's a great way to start, great way to go about starting this video. We're gonna hit start. We're going to go into my profile, my finished profile. We are obviously not going to log in to Xbox Live because there is no longer an original Xbox Live. So we're just going to jump into the first rally race here while I explain and kind of show off what this game is all about. And choose orange car because orange. So this game was back when DICE, who you may know as the guys who make Battlefield now, were also making other kinds of games before they got bought by EA. So this was funded by Microsoft Game Studios at the time as part of their XSN Sports initiative. Now, XSN was the answer to the EA stuff before Microsoft and EA came to an agreement on, their sports stuff. So for a while there was no sports stuff from EA on the original Xbox. So they were like, you know what, fuck you guys, fuck you, we're gonna do our own thing. That's gonna be that. So this had, all kinds of online multiplayer and leaderboards and that kind of stuff. But obviously all the online stuff, no longer in the game because there's no longer an original Xbox Live. Now, for me, I got this game back when it came out. And at the time, I was working at Toys R Us, and when you were I'm not sure if they still had this, but at the time, when you were a retail partner, you could do these quizzes through the Xbox. There was like an Xbox Rewards retail thing. So I got this game for like $5, and I got a bunch of other original Xbox games for like $5 because you would answer these quizzes about video games, and then because you were a retail partner, they wanted to keep you up to date on, whatever the most current games were. So it's kind of just, I did not get this because it was a franchise that I knew about. I did eventually end up buying the first game in the series, but that was much later. But this was kind of a, hey, it's $5, and I ended up thinking it was fucking amazing. And I'm really not much of a racing game person, and certainly most rally racing games are more simulation than they are arcades. This is a rally racer, but it's much more arcade style. And for me, if I'm going to play a racing game, I'd rather have an arcade style racing game because I have a tendency to crash into shit. And when you're playing those hardcore sim games, when you crash into shit, that's it. You're kind of done. So I will gravitate towards games more like the Dirt series than I would towards games like Gran Turismo. So this game has, a bunch of cars and a bunch of stages, and I ended up playing through the whole thing and really enjoyed it. I really wish that EA would allow DICE to go back and make racing games again, or at least one. Just give us a third one. Alright, I'm gonna quit out of this. I will show you an actual race, I guess. We'll do a single race. We'll do Rallycross. Good enough. 3 laps, good enough. Change our livery here. Good enough. Whatever, I'm not playing this at all seriously. So I should mention that if you have an Xbox 360 and you were thinking, hey, I'll pick up this game and play it on 360, there are about a third of the 360 library that is backwards compatible. This game is not. The original RalliSport Challenge is, but RalliSport Challenge 2 is not backwards compatible, which is kind of a shame, because this game is pretty awesome. So, the unfortunate thing at the end of the day is that the only way to play this is on an original Xbox. But I have one of those, obviously, and mine still works, although at this point, it's old enough that I'm starting to worry about how much longer the internal hard drives are going to last, and the unfortunate reality of ever having to try and replace that. 'Cause that's a 10 gig hard drive. Like, where are you going to get any kind of it's a 10 gig and it's IDE, so you would need, like, even if you're going to get, you know, a 4 or a 500, I'm not sure, you know, people who replace their hard drives in the original Xbox, I'm not sure how big those go, but even then, you're still having to track down an IDE hard drive, and these days, everything is SATA, so it's going to suck when this thing eventually decides to crap out, because the current state of original Xbox emulation is shit. Like, and I just fucked that up royally. PS2 emulation, pretty good. GameCube emulation, if you have a good enough computer, pretty good. There just doesn't seem to be any kind of a demand for original Xbox emulation, and therefore there's not a lot of people actually working on it. So when all the original Xboxes just start dying off and there are, you know, no real good solutions to replace that hard drive, what you're left with is the third or so of the library, which is about 200-ish games that are backward compatible on the 360. And this one is not. And to my knowledge, this was never released on any other system. You can only get this on original Xbox, which is a damn shame because I really enjoy it. We're going to continue here. We're going to go out of that. We're going to do a hill climb, which I enjoy. These are just point to point. I got my camera kind of in front of the TV here because I got this dumbass TV. It's pretty big, but it's, yeah, well, anywho how, Orange! You know the drill. So yeah, this is actually one of the few games, there are a handful of games on the original Xbox that can do 480p. So I'm not entirely sure how this file that I'm capturing is going to come out, and I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate it into this feed that you're watching right now, but the game certainly is widescreen. It's being, you know, it is one of the few Xbox games, or original Xbox games, that are widescreen, so that's cool. There weren't that many of them. I mean, it was the same thing on the PS2, where there were a couple, but there weren't that many. So the problem that I have is that my TV in my room, which is a 24-inch Sony 3D TV that I got for $100 last year on Black Friday, does not handle when it's fine when I'm actually plugging things into it straight, but it becomes an issue with older systems that my capture box has to have component video in, and then it goes HDMI out. And the problem is, when the resolution is below like 720p, the thing continually tries to find the actual correct resolution, and so every 5 seconds the screen just goes black. And I've heard that, you know, that is a model by model deal on TVs, so it really just was a case of just that particular TV that I own is not good for when I want to capture older systems. So whenever I have one of these, you're going to know that it's an older system or, you know, older hardware, because I'll be out here in the living room because the TV out here does not have that particular issue. So that's kind of the long and the short of why I am out here. Also, it's fucking cold. It's like 5 degrees. 5 degrees out right now. So I usually keep, you know, the rest of the house kind of on an average-ish temperature, and then I keep my room pretty toasty. So I'm doing this because I need to get this done. Alright, let's let me do one more race, because I kind of think you guys get the idea. This is ice racing, and that shit's crazy. We'll do a track it. Yeah, that one. That one's not too bad. We'll do heavy damage on the cars, and obviously we'll keep the solid collision. And I think this Beetle, because why the fuck not? Black Beetle. And yeah, I'm not really, like, that's the ice racing part of this game I didn't particularly care for. and they do throw it at you quite a bit. And they're all beetles. Sweet. Alright then. So we're gonna see if we can't totally just not bone this up, and racing on the ice is kind of rough. At the time when this game came out, the use of the rumble to differentiate between different kinds of terrain you were driving on at the time was fucking wild. Like no other game in 04 was really doing it quite as well as this one was. So it was kind of amazing to go from, you know, the dirt to the tarmac and the ice and whatever else. You would just get a very distinct rumble in the controller. You know, these days it's all you know, pretty much standard. But at the time, I remember thinking that, you know, holy shit, this is crazy. And I am just hitting this wall and fucking up this car pretty badly. And I am not good at ice racing. I should never be driving in the winter. There's about this much snow on the ground outside my house right now. And this fucking polar vortex once again. And it's just, yeah. This is all very familiar. But obviously I am not in a rally car or a Beetle when I am out running my errands and whatnot, although I've been trying to not leave as much as possible when it's like 12 out, because that's just no good for anybody. Is this still lap 1? Am I still... or no? I'm actually on... I don't know. I guess this is a very small track, and I'm going to come in second, because I'm not going to be able to get past this Pajugulan, which is... Get back here! You son of a bitch. Let me pass you. Nope, now I'm just really just... not caring. Well, that just totally sealed my fate. Can I at least come in second? Maybe? Alright, yeah. Woo! Second place. Alright, so, to wrap up what this game is. It is a rally racing game. It is arcade mode. I mean, arcade-style racing. You've got a ton of different tracks and courses and cars and this whole big-ass career mode, and I think... I want to say I finished it? Yeah, I finished it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so... RalliSport Challenge 2, original Xbox, is a game you should be playing. And I'm dropping the case again, and this is Attack Slug, and I will see you next time on You Should Be Playing. Peace.